Hey everybody, how's it going? Chris here. Today's video is going to be about some comic book supplies I've picked up recently and a discussion video which I hope will have some longevity, long life for this video discussion about comic book preservation and everybody else's, personal uses of comic book preservation items and how they do it themselves. This video is kind of coming up, partly because of my New Year's comic book resolutions, and one of them was better comic book preservation of my comic books, and just to have them last longer without deteriorating. Also, in part, there was a YouTuber, the Conkinator, who asked for me to, as well, just asked me how I bag and board my comic books. So that will be answered here as well. Comic book preservation is definitely an ongoing discussion within the comic book community, as to what products to use and how it stores it, and it's a thing that over the years always evolves as well. I mean, back in the day, nobody ever was using bags and boards because it wasn't meant to be a collectible item when comic books were really first being produced. They were meant to be disposable, but now they are collectibles, so we want to preserve them. And because those comic books were meant to break down, we need to slow the deterioration of them, especially the older ones, Silver Age and before, because they were printed on older pulp papers. So some of the stuff that I've learned now, and a little bit how I've evolved as a comic collector and in my preservation, some of those questions will come up and be answered here. So I just want to hopefully get a response from many of you guys from this, either in text comments, but also your video responses as well, so that everybody can learn something. Maybe I'll learn something new as well, and which I'm always trying to do. Like I say, evolve as a collector. New products come out every so often, so see how they are for everybody. So I'd definitely like to see everybody else's video responses on this as well. And big, YouTubers that are really into some of this stuff, especially the Mylars, people like Rick's a Geek, R. Dowdy 95, Captain Strange-Life, and also Hippies Collectibles, people like that, somewhat influenced some of the products that I've gotten as well. So just before I get into this, just want to let you guys know too, I do have my tickets ordered for the Calgary Comic Entertainment and Expo, which is coming up in April 2013 here. I do have my tickets for all 3 days, so me and my wife, we're going, and hopefully I'll have some money to get my comic book signed and sent to CGC, so that's pretty cool. And also some other cheap things I got on the net as well. Super Mario Bros. 3, which is really good, one of the best NES games, and also Super Mario / Duck Hunt, but I can't play it until I got an older TV as well. So, but some cool old NES games. I've definitely been getting into that lately, so I wanted to show those to you guys. Okay, so let's first check out this product here. My regular poly bags that I like getting, the bags and boards that I use here. Ultra Pro, I'm definitely behind these ever since, it takes a little bit figuring out which products you really like, but I found that Ultra Pro bags are the most best poly bags you can find out there, and most of their products for cards and storing other objects are really amazing as well. So Ultra Pro, if you're going to go poly bags, I really recommend going Ultra Pro. And the boards generally, these the one-side coated boards, generally from most suppliers, they're all really great and usually fit really well. What I find with the bags from different companies, there will be they'll be really off in their sizes. You can get bags that are really inconsistent. It might say modern, but sometimes you'll get a bag in the pack that is like almost the size of a silver. But Ultra Pro is definitely the best, and I've never had problems with their consistency. Their quality is the best. But the boards that I'm currently using are Comic Care backer boards, and I don't care for their bags though. But the boards are really good, and they do fit in the Ultra Pro bags really nice. So that's what this looks like right here. So that's what I'm currently using for my current comic books. And of course, just a bag and board them. Just going to use this as an example, one that I haven't even read, but very simple. They go in there really nice. They fit in there nice and snug. I'll usually put a corner in first. There'll be different ways. I mean, you can put whatever corner you want in, but they slide in really nice. So and then tape them. I'll also use a little bit of the matte finish tape is usually pretty good. Just use one piece. Sometimes in the past I've used 3, but I've learned just using 1 is good enough. I'll put it on there, and a good trick too is just fold down the top just a little bit so you have kind of like a little flap. So that when you fold it and stick it, it's much easier instead of trying to bring your finger underneath and try to lift it up, and you might twist the board and the comic a bit. This way at least you got a little flap that's not stuck, and you can just grab it easier and it comes off. And then when you take it off too, the matte finish usually comes off fairly easy as well. I find that the clear finish tape does stick really well after a few years, and it really kind of bonds to the plastic more, which is sometimes good, but I mean, getting your book out, you might be tearing up the plastic and you have to rechange your bag. Anyways, so that's a bunch of those that I've gotten recently. And for the price, I mean, you can get, usually come in packs of 100 boards, 100 bags, and they're pretty good. So for poly bags, definitely go Ultra Pro, and use those for all my current issues, basically. One of the next products I got here, and I've been just getting into these, and it does take a little bit of getting used to, but when you're going to talk about protecting some of your more valuable comic books, you definitely want to try to go this way, and that's getting Mylites. One of the most popular Mylar bags is Mylites 2. These ones are from E. Gerber, probably one of the top names in producing Mylars as well. So this is the silver ones, and they usually come in 50 packs. So they'll fit Silver Age comic books. They're 7 1/4 inches by 10 with a 1/2 inch flap. And the product number here is 725 M2. And usually the boards that will fit them are 700 HB. So I get the halfbacks because the place that I've purchased at, that's all they're really getting. I haven't seen them have fullbacks, so but I might like to try them in the future, the fullbacks. But yeah. So there you go, Mylites 2 and 700 HB halfbacks. And that's what these look like. So they are more expensive, but Mylars definitely, they last. The plastic lasts. There's nothing that's going to leach through them, unless they for some reason get cracked, but that's only usually with the harder ones, the more thick 4 mils that they might crack. But 2 mils are definitely probably the best Mylar product for preserving your comic books. And so I'm just getting the silver size for now because that's what I really want to protect, and comic books that are, Silver Age, before there, usually I feel are worthy of more of a protection, a long-term protection. And these are going to last your lifetime and then some, so 100 years plus the plastic is going to last without breakdown. Unlike poly bags, there will be a breakdown of them. Also the boards as well. The boards from the other backing boards, they're only coated on one side, and eventually there will be some leaching of acid or color or whatever from your comic book to your board. That'll eventually break down, and you might have to change your board once they start yellowing. These ones, these halfbacks and the fullbacks, whatever, they are buffered all the way through, so they last that much longer. I haven't heard of really having to change these as much, and they'll last for a long time as well. So more quality from your boards, and protection, because once the board starts breaking down and doesn't protect, doesn't have that buffer between the comic and the board anymore, then that board will eventually start harming your comic book rather than helping it. So a superior board is also going to be your halfbacks or fullbacks. Yeah. So there's that. I'm just getting into these. I do want to try some modern Mylars as well, fitting some of my nicer, more expensive modern comics in there. So what I'm talking about that is, like I say, I only have silver size stuff right now, but you know, when I get something nice like this, that's a gift for my wife, it's a modern issue, but it's not really worth anything at the moment, but I have that sentimental value for it, so I want to put it in something nice that has great presentation. The Mylars definitely have a better crystal clear presentation than the poly bags do. But this is what I want to do. So for modern ones, and it's in a silver size one right now, but for modern comics that I really feel that are important to me, I want to put them in a Mylar. And so when I'm talking about using Mylar to protect comic books, more expensive ones, I'm talking about things like this. Judo Joe, this is a book from 1953, which is a lower grade, so I want to give it a better presentation, better protection as well, something like that. Also a high grade, well, mid grade, whatever. But anyways, an expensive comic book like this, my Hulk 181. I want to put it in Mylar, give it a great presentation, superior protection, and I want to stop any deterioration as much as possible from this comic book. I don't want it to lower the grade over the years, which may happen. And so, coming to another point, another comic book preservation item to use would be this stuff. And this is my first pack of the stuff that I've ever gotten. This is Microchamber paper. I believe there's a couple different sizes, but this particular one seems to fit like a modern size. As you can see here, it is much smaller than a Bronze Age comic book. Just getting into this, they do seem really cool. You can tell that it's Microchamber paper. I don't know if you guys will be able to see here on the camera, but there's a, I don't think you can see it. You can see right here, there's a watermark. It looks like these polygons, and then it also says Microchamber on it. So it has, every single piece of paper has that watermark on it, so you can definitely tell that it's Microchamber paper. So Microchamber paper helps stop acid going from the pages of the comic books to the covers, absorbs odors, and also harmful pollutants from your comic books. And so that is going to significantly slow down the deterioration of your comic books as well. So when I want to use this stuff, and this is the same stuff that CGC would use when they slab their comic books between each pages. When I want to use these, it's definitely for not newer comic books, although I may put a newer comic book in a Mylar. I may not want to use the Microchamber paper because I believe they're already printed on a acid-free type of paper, and they won't harm themselves as much as older comic books, which were printed on the pulp type papers. So these kind of comic books I will want to use the Microchamber paper on. So this is a really cool item to be getting into if you really want to help stop the deterioration of your older comic books. And I've definitely seen, but one of the only other people in the community that I've seen use Microchamber paper is Captain Strangelove Hans, and he shared, I got this stuff actually from a different website, but he shared the place where he gets it from, and I think they have a couple different sizes. So I would definitely like Hans's input and anybody else that knows about Microchamber paper their input on that. Maybe perhaps even a small video would be great. But would I want to use, would it matter what size of microchamber paper I'm using? Like, would I want to use a golden age to fill the whole book? Like, say in years to come, do you think it's only going to protect exactly where the paper is? Or, you know, and then if there is any acid leaks or color, you know, coming to the cover, is it going to leave basically a border all the way around? So that's kind of my question there. Do I want to get different sizes to fit the full page of the comic book? But it definitely is a neat product to get into. They're really thin, and they won't really, you know, when you're storing your comic books, leave a lump in the cover or anything. They're pretty cool. So yeah, definitely the people in the community that know about that, give me more information on that. Yeah, I'm just kind of shooting this video from the hip kind of thing, but yeah, just let me know, everybody, your guys' thoughts on everything. So on your polys, what kind of polys that you like using. Mylars, give me your thoughts about what I said and your personal thoughts on how you use your Mylars or any other comic book preservation stuff. Tell me what you think about the microchamber. Just give me lots of feedback. I would love for this discussion to continue and get to see a lot of videos as well. That would be really, really great. So yeah, I think that's about that. I'll leave it at that. Definitely leave your comments below, and I'll be looking forward to the discussion on these products. Okay, that's about that, you guys. I'm going to get out of here. Bye.